provide those family dynamics himself. It's not about the family dynamics. It's just about whoever he doesn't like. So it doesn't matter what the person is doing. It doesn't matter if the person is educated. It doesn't matter if the person is not educated. For example,
I have no idea who the fuck these people are. For some reason, I'm subscribed. All right, Dad's Day. And there is a large fly just he's like buzzing around the room. I can't get rid of him. I'm sorry. It's all your fault. And welcome, happy Dad's Day to the dads out there. Dad's Day, fucking mania. No, I just had to come on quickly to prove that I am still alive. And also because this thing came up. Should be back here. Earlier. Also, I found the video that disappeared from the playlist. I didn't know what the fuck had happened, but I put it back in the playlist and added it somewhere. But right now, this shit came up just today, and we're gonna hate watch little Jay over here. Did he end the stream? Yeah, no, he's still gone.
Say that.
Okay.
God, you're fucking stupid. From the DOG framework for prosecutors to strengthen our national response to sexual assault.
We know, but let's go back. Can we go back? I was watching this earlier. Not that far back. So, you got to get through the bullshit, you know. Add this to the archives. Hope y'all are having a great Father's Day. I'm doing well considering, it's never a good day for me, but it's okay. We're getting by. Yeah, finish up some laundry and I got some shit to do here. So, oh come on, where does he start this fucking thing? Back here somewhere. I think we must be getting close. Yeah, okay.
Will be a good question. And we're gonna try to answer that question today. But first I need you to understand a little bit about some of the things we're gonna fucking talk about today. The real thing that I'm gonna just tell you that we would say most of my life when I was coming up, we would just tell you flat out, AJ Ruley's fucking retarded. Yeah, we just told you we just
throwing out ableist slurs. He's gonna continue doing that, so it's gonna be fun. But yeah, as far as I can recall, most people aren't calling Jay, ableist slurs or whatever that I've heard. They've been saying some shit about his mental health, and so he's getting some flack for that. But it's whatever. Manic streaming, as it were.
Told you flat out that bitch is fucking retarded. Bitch need to be in a short bus, in a special education program. Okay. Now to keep it real with y'all, coming up, I ain't really fuck with making fun of people in the special education program, whether they rode the short bus or had different cognitive or learning disabilities or different things like that.
But now as an adult, I think it's just fine. Apparently,
to be honest with you, I was in the gifted program, and believe it or not,
as a grown ass adult who teaches students, I think it's totally fine now to be ableist and use those words, call people dumb, call people stupid, call people
gifted
what else.
Program is also considered special education. So when you're in the gifted program, you're in the special education program, and when you struggle in the classroom, you're also in the special education program. So I ain't really play people messing
around. Right, yeah. There's kind of some overlap there, isn't there, Jay?
Around picking on kids in the special education program, because technically I was in the special education program. I know you're gonna say it's a different way to be in the special education program, but special education is special education. And I was like, we ain't gonna be making fun of our classmates just because they struggle with certain things. So we're not here to throw shade on anybody. We're not here to. We're here to throw shade.
You're not throwing shade on anybody. Not at all.
We're not here to throw shade on anybody that may struggle with reading, writing, arithmetic, intellectual or cognitive abilities. But we are going to be honest about AJ Ruley.
But we can do it when we're talking about this person. That makes it okay, right?
And the reality is, these days we don't use the R word anymore. We could talk about it. I think technically it's fine.
You just used the R word. Why would you even censor yourself at this point? You just said it like fucking 10 seconds ago.
If you're using it, if you're not using it to insult people who have real learning disabilities for the fact that they have learning disabilities. Like, yeah, you could be a dick about it, but look, here's the reality. AJ's a miserable fucking vile cunt. I hate her. It is what it is. At the same time, I don't want to disrespect people with cognitive or intellectual disabilities.
Really, 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 Jay. You don't want to disrespect people with intellectual disabilities, but your whole thing is accusing people of having intellectual disabilities. Oh, because you don't like their positions on this particular issue. That's so crazy. I couldn't even
However,
imagine how you would reason that way.
however, we're here to talk about AJ Ruley's bad behavior. And the reality is a lot of people are letting
What's Ember? What's up, Ember? Good to see you. Yes, it is the madness, the continuing madness. We're covering Jay's present live stream. This was just a little bit ago. I saw him saying some shit, and I was like, "That's fucking ridiculous," and I have to do it because I'm here for it. I mean, welcome.
AJ Ruley lead them to water, thinking that she is going to navigate them to an oasis of pure, clean, healthy drinking water, and cure them of their thirst. The reality is the bitch can't read a map. Bitch don't know where she at. Bitch don't know where she going. Bitch don't know how to really test the water to see if it's clean or not. And she's leading you to a swamp of alligator and crocodile and fucking anaconda infested waters that are corrupt with monkey piss.
It's quite an extreme analogy, I would say. Yeah, I mean, as bad as it could possibly be, I don't think we're in the crocodile-infested, monkey-piss-tainted waters here yet. But hey, close enough, right? I mean, we are living in the natural world, so at some point, yeah, there's going to be predators about.
And you're gonna die following behind that bitch
Jeez.
because you don't know.
She's gonna get us all killed. This man is just ridiculous. He's absolutely. He's over here. I saved it like yesterday or a couple days ago or something. He was showing off the fake wrestling belts that he's buying for people as gifts for participating in the smear campaigns. It's a real thing. He's like, yep, but I bought Nancy like the real replica belt or something like that, and he was like propping himself up. He was like, look at me, a community organizer. Yeah, sure, buddy.
The
Whatever you
fuck she
say.
doing? So I have to do the politically incorrect thing and make sure I understand something about intellectual disability. Now, have I ever seen AJ Ruley's IQ test? Nope. Would I really want to see AJ's IQ test? Probably not. Do I really give a fuck what her IQ is? Nah, I really don't give a shit. The bitch is stupid.
Doesn't give a fuck about IQ. By the way, that will come up again later, and it's going to be a
The
little
bitch is
important.
stupid. I'm just here to tell you that. The bitch is stupid. I'm a goddamn college professor. Okay? We have so many students, I can't even tell you how smart my students are. Can't even tell you how smart, how bright, how talented, how hardworking most of my students are. Most of my students don't really need shit from me. All they need from me is like good information, the lowdown on what they got to do to prepare for my classes, and maybe a bend them an ear on some career advice. Once in a while, they go through something socially or personally outside of school, outside of the classroom, and you got to be there to support them through that. But they good. They good to go. We just got to make sure we don't give them the wrong information. Try to make sure they're not assholes, and they'll be fine.
Fair enough. Maybe, yeah, maybe just Jay. Maybe you just don't want to. Maybe you're not. I mean, well qualified to teach about not being an ass.
We have other students that they just don't have that same level of natural ability. They got into college on hard work, discipline. They're not dumb. But they may not be the head of the class. They may not be ahead of their peers. If we got 90 students in the class, they may not be in our top 5.
That was my thing. My thing fucked up. What's up, Tog? Good to see you. Happy Dad Day. Yeah. Interesting they chose to do this. Also, later on, well, I guess we'll get to it when we get to it. I don't know if we're going to get that far, but he's going to be doing Michael's video. And just on a side note, um, Michael Beverly, like putting his own kid in these videos, as far as I can tell, like as it's really fucking weird. In my humble opinion, I wouldn't do that. I don't ever like include my kids on this channel really, at all. Like I will talk about being a parent, but like including them in content just is really really fucking strange to me. I don't know who would in their right mind do that. Dog says, "Yeah, I have the same Black Power Ranger hoodie. I love it now." Sorry. He just bought that for the show. He bought that shit. All the beads and all that shit. It's all swag for his fucking character he's doing now. He went from pro wrestling. He had the green wig and all of that, and he's undergoing a transformation, a metamorphosis, if you will.
They may not be in the top 5. It's okay. It's 90 people. It's 100 people in this class. Sometimes you have a class of 100 students, so the percentages are real easy. Okay, the top 1%, that's one student. Who out of 100 students, all I got to do, look, y'all, I'm gonna have 100 students in my damn grade sheet. If I do the shit in Excel, I got the shit in a spreadsheet, right?
Yeah, no,
So,
we get it.
Final adjusted calculated grade. I could hit Control All and say sort by that last thing from high to low. Sort by final adjusted calculated grade, high to low. What's he going to do? It's going to take that entire spreadsheet, list out all my students from the highest score to the lowest score, and I'm gonna be able to point to one student's name and say, "You did the best in my class." Maybe it'll be.
But are you going to point to that person at the bottom of the list and tell them that they have an intellectual disability, or use a slur, an ableist slur, like "Hey, you over there," and then use the R word?
Real close, and there'll be 2 or 3 that's tied or somehow ended up with the same grade. But I'll be able to look at them couple of students and say, out of the 100 students in this class, y'all did the best. That's not me being mean. That's not me being a dick. That's not me trying to shame their peers. That's not me trying to make anybody feel stupid. It's not me trying to make anybody feel like they smarter and better than everybody else. I'm just being real with numbers. I had teachers tell me this too. I had teachers when I was in undergrad. I wanted to work with them, do some research. They said, "Yeah, you could do research with me." Why? Because I have hundreds of students in my class. Not 100 students, a couple hundred students. I've been in a class that had 400 students plus.
Jeez.
And the professor looks at me and says, "You're one of my best students." I've had professors say to me, "I have hundreds of students in my class."
Professor, stop. No. Somebody inflated this man's ego to epic proportions. He's like, no. They told me I was at the top of the class. Student. I am the smartest guy in the room.
I've had another professor say, "I have 100 students in my class. You are number 2. Yeah, somehow is one person in your class that's pretty much right there where you're at. Technically, maybe their grade is 4 percentage points of a grade point higher than yours, right? I got a 99.34 average, and they got a 99.67 average. Yeah, it's one other student, Jay. Out of my 100 students, there's one other student that's really fucking with you and getting down. Like, y'all know them. I never met them, but I can tell you they exist. But you're number 2. You're right there. So when I say you're one of my top students, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, Dr. Jason Bundy. I'm telling you what the numbers tell me. So again, we have the top of the class. We have really, really, really strong students that are not the top of the class, but they're really, really strong students. They're great. They're going to be fine. We have better than average students. We have average students. We have below average students. We have well below average students. See, part of what the secular humanist space does, it makes everybody think, "Oh, you're not a Christian anymore? Oh, you figured out that the Bible is fairy tales? Okay, well, you're a genius now." Yeah, it doesn't matter. Some people are scholars and some people are academics. Some people went to college. Some people are engineers. Some people are computer programmers. Some people are musicians. Some people are chefs. Some people are social workers. None of that matters. No, what you don't believe in Jesus anymore? Oh, you're just as smart as everybody else. So now y'all.
Well, I think it's all on the same page-ism, right? Like, there's. It's not like we don't have to give ourselves a fucking pat on the back, right? But other people in that circle are going to be like, "Yes, I've reached the same conclusion. Isn't that kind of crazy, considering that actually we're still in a minority group?" Fucking weird, right? So yeah, I mean, and certainly, I mean, we can joke about how ridiculous the beliefs that maybe we once held, or the beliefs that other people still hold, right, appear to be to us, and still most people in the community don't go around like disparaging those people's or demeaning those people's intelligence, right? We just say, well, that's unfortunate. They're indoctrinated. They're not receptive to new information. Okay. But we don't call them stupid most of the time.
Act out here like everybody has equal intelligence, equal competence, equal cognitive ability, equal intellectual ability, equal skills. And then you mad when a bunch of really, 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 really smart people start working together and they get together and they start observing what the other side is doing. They say,
that's That's him and Michael and all these guys over here. They're in the super smart kids club. We're just unaware of it. No, no ego here. He's just saying, like, his teacher told him he was gifted one time, and he's like, well, we just happen to be at the super smart kids club, and you guys, you all over there, you just don't get
You
it.
seeing what I'm saying? Yeah, Jay, I'm seeing what you're saying. Jay, let me tell you some shit they said to me. All right, Jay, Jay, are you hearing what I'm saying about what they said to me? Yo, man, I'm seeing what you're saying. Yo, Patty, what did they say to you, Patty? Yeah, Jay, they sent me this shit, and then they said this, and then they said that, and they said, Patty, that ain't making no fucking sense. Jay, I know it ain't making no sense. Patty, why do people make sense? Jay, I don't know why, but this shit don't make no sense. No, I really don't, right?
You know what doesn't make sense? What doesn't make any fucking type of sense is the whole fucking corrupt, white supremacist atheist sex cult, which, how the fuck did you even construe all of that from this fucking incident? One can only imagine.
The really smart kids get together, and they realize the other kids ain't that smart. They just realize. Look, I'm gonna just tell you what it is. You don't gotta believe me. You don't gotta listen to me. Okay?
Yeah, listen to my white friend.
Okay. You can think I'm a fucking moron. I got to do a PhD. I was in gifted programs my whole life. I'm actually, most people will tell you I'm certifiable as a genius. But set that aside.
A certifiable genius. You heard it here.
Let's just say Dr. Bundy's a fucking dumbass. Michael Beverly's not a dumbass. PC's not a dumbass. Sumami's not a dumbass. Kyle's not a dumbass.
I thought you told Kyle to keep your name out of the fucking mouth. What are you talking about? You said keep my motherfucking name out your mouth. Now you putting their name in your mouth. Why wouldn't you? What the fuck happened since the last time we talked, bro?
Patty's not a dumbass. Nancy's not a dumbass. Becca's not a dumbass. Filbert's not a dumbass. Uncle Bobby's not a dumbass. Durante's not a dumbass.
Nobody even said that. That's you. That is you. Is that a little bit of insecurity I sense there? You're like, wait, are they calling us stupid? No, we didn't call you stupid. We said you were sitting on some bullshit. And you're all worked up about some shit you don't even know what the fuck you're doing. But nobody called you stupid, bro.
We could all very clearly see what's going on here.
Well, I mean, Dr. Kip might have called you stupid for some of the other shit you said, and that's probably well deserved. But we'll not get into that.
We can all very clearly see what's going on here. Okay. Now, if I have my students that are below average, well below average, look, I'm gonna tell them like this: y'all still belong here. Y'all still belong here. I'm gonna tell them what my mentors told me: C's earned degrees. You don't gotta like me.
Yeah, you're here to learn. I mean, we're not here to learn. We're not learning shit from you at this point, Jay. I mean, I know you want to teach us, right? But you have to get people's respect and people's attention in a certain way in order for them to be receptive to learn anything from you. And I don't think you've demonstrated those types of skills, right? You have to be trustworthy. And we don't see that
from
around
Sam
you.
Richards. Look up Sam Richards. Look up Social 119 right now on YouTube. Go to YouTube right now. Look up.
Wait, look at my mentors. Look at the person I studied under. It makes me very important. If you know that I studied under this person, then that means that I myself am very important by virtue of the fact that I studied under this person.
SOC is short for Sociology 119.
Soc 119.
You're going to realize Sam Richards is one of the most powerful, influential, and popular sociologists, educators in America. That's my mentor.
Wow. Congratulations. Should we give him the slow clap? Congratulations, Jay.
You'll see him teaching at Penn State, a class called Social 119 at Penn State.
Why don't you send him a couple of your recent uploads and see what he thinks about them?
I told you I was in classes that have 400 people. Yeah, that was one of them. And I took that class, aced that class, and then taught that class with him. That very same class you're seeing on his channel, in that very same room, 20 plus years ago. C's earned degrees. What does that mean? It means we telling people, look, you could be the average student. Just fucking graduate. Don't worry about having a.
Yeah, people are in school to fucking learn, man. They want knowledge. They want information. Most people are trying to get into further higher education or into careers that interest them. People want to fucking learn what they need to learn. Get the fuck out of there and go use it in the real world. This is the purpose of having a university system. Or any type of education system, really. Like, what are you talking about, bro?
Don't worry about going to Harvard Law School. You're at Penn State. You're at Penn State. You could be right around a little stronger than a C, C plus kind of range, whatever the minimum is to graduate. Go ahead on. You know why? Because at the end of the day, you're going to graduate. You're going to have your degree. You're going to go forward in your life and your profession. You're going to be able to say, I graduated from Penn State University, one of the best universities in this country. Okay. Is anybody going to ask you about your GPA? No. Do they care about that?
Like, I mean, irrelevant. Like, literally every graduate of every university is just going to say that about their university. I mean, honestly, like, we know where the heavy hitters are and where the big money is being generated in the education system, right? Maybe that's not a great. Anyway, Amber said, "One need not be stupid to be deceived or lying." True that. Yeah. I mean, we're all prone to being deceived at times. Amber said, "I feel like he's asking for people to send Sam these vids." It would be an interesting angle, yes. I mean, hey, it's somebody he respects. Maybe we could get some logic and reason going here, you know. Whoever is capable of reasoning with this person, you know. Your dog has gone out of the yard. No, sorry, wait, that was probably, I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, yeah.
For grad school, med school, professional school, maybe when you ain't done shit else in your life and trying to get an internship, sure.
There's like a real life analogy there with the neighborhood dogs here, but anyway, you know, yeah.
But 5-10 years out from you going to college, not a single real grown adult is going to ask you about your GPA. So C's earned degrees. Don't worry about it. Get your degree and get on with your life.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's no shade to the C students. We're going to do everything we can as educators and as an institution to model this university in such a way that our C students are good to go and they can take this degree, they can be proud of their hard work, and they're going to go out there and be successful. Now, they may have to work a little bit harder. They're going to have to be more disciplined.
Does it seem like this whole thing is like for the benefit of his students? Like if he is actually in fact presenting these or telling his students like, hey, yeah, go watch this. And then he's like, oh yeah, I should probably like double down on making sure that they don't feel like I am, you know, in any way you know, referring to them when I'm calling this person the R word, right? Because this random YouTuber who I have very little actual knowledge of or interaction with, I'm going to diminish their intelligence in such a way, you know, that would be deeply offensive to most people, right? But I can do that because I disagree with their position on this particular incident.
They're going to have to be careful about their extracurricular activities. We're going to have to watch who they associate with because we don't want them falling into the wrong crowd. They really can't afford to slip in with drugs and alcohol. They really can't afford even really to work too much. It's a lot of students we got to tell, like, look, high school may have been pretty easy for you, but college is going to be much harder for you. And what you're not thinking about, you're thinking about the
You're not a fucking guidance counselor, dude. What are you talking about? This isn't part of your job.
you know, okay, you have, you know, 3 credit classes. And so each of your 3 credit classes, you're
not trained to counsel students in this. You're a teacher, right? You teach in your field. You don't counsel students and give them life advice. That's not your fucking job,
in
bro.
the classroom 3 hours a week. You got 4 or 5 classes. Let's say you got 4 classes or 5 classes, so 12 to 15 hours a week. Now you're in the classroom. Now you think, okay, that's school. I could do school. It's 12 to 15 hours. Well, let me work part-time, 20, 30 hours. Sometimes work full-time. No, you're not understanding something. College is not high school. College, you could end up easily, when we were coming through college, they told us you're going to spend 3 hours outside of the class for every hour you spend inside the class. That meant if you had a 3 credit class, you expect it to be 3 hours in the classroom and then 9 to 10 hours outside of class for that one class. So now you have 4 classes, because that's usually the minimum full time. You need 12 credits. So usually if you're at an institution where the minimum full time is 12 credits, that's 4 3-credit classes. A lot of times students don't want to take just the minimum because they want to get out in a decent time. They want to make sure they're on pace to get out when they're supposed to get out or get out.
He puts all this unnecessary bullshit into his
12, you're cool. 15, if you're real disciplined. 18, you got to be a fucking superstar. We're going to tell you, you probably can't handle that. Why? Because if you take 15 credit hours, that's 15 hours in the class, but it's probably 4.
Was he like, he drew a blank for a second? He's like, brain fart. I'm trying to do some mental
45
math.
outside of the class.
No, I mean, I can relate.
Right? So even at 45 outside, that's 60 hours right there. That's what a good academic advisor is going to tell you. Not every academic advisor, but a good
Well,
academic
luckily you're not the fucking academic
advisor will take you
advisor.
right. It's 3 to 4 hours outside of the class for every hour inside of the class. So you think you got 60 hours of studying in you and then another 40 to go to work? You're crazy. You're never going to succeed here. Now, what am I getting at? There's students who are below average students, and they just don't make it in college. It sucks. But no college has a 100% graduation rate. I went to a high school of 50 students. We didn't have a 100% graduation rate in a high school of 50 students. There were some kids in my school who didn't graduate high school.
A high school with 50 students? Is he serious? That's very small. I don't know. Yeah, even like when I went, yeah, he has said he shows these videos to his students. I know, yeah. Which I find frankly terrifying. Um, I I have no idea why the fuck he would think this would be like relevant academic. No, yeah, like what is the test like? Do you agree with Jay? That's how you pass the test, by agreeing with everything that Jay said, like across the board. No, not happening.
Didn't put the grades together, didn't do the essays, didn't take the exam. They was with us all 4 years. But even though there's only 50 of us, it was really only like 47 or 48 of us that walked across that stage that day. There was a few of us that didn't make it. In college, there's a lot of people who don't make it. They don't have the work habits. They don't have the study habits. They can't manage their time well enough. Too much tragedy outside of school. They have to take care of loved ones. A parent gets sick. A younger sibling gets in an accident, and then all of a sudden they have to move home to help with the more intensive care. There's all sorts of reasons. But here's part of the reason. Some people don't have the intellectual and cognitive abilities. Some people can't handle the work. Some people can't handle the reading. Some people are not capable of passing the exams. Some people, no matter what advice you give them, no matter how hard they try, they just don't have the reading comprehension. They just can't remember the vocabulary. They just don't have the ability to memorize the bulk, massive amount of content that they're expected to memorize. Now you could say, Jay, isn't memorization a terrible thing to be doing? Shouldn't student learning be well beyond memorization? Yes, you're absolutely right. And we need to continue to reform education to make it more equitable and make it more accessible to all. But the realities of it right now, especially if you...
What's happening, Eddie? He said high school of 50 is either in the middle of nowhere or insanely privileged private school. It sounds about right. Neither in the hood with lots of blam blams. No, I take it he's probably, never rolled through the, the hood, doing the things he would like to do in his LARPing activities here. Yeah, he just gets down like that because it's all fun and games on the internet. Welcome to
you want to go into the social sciences,
happy Dad's Day, my
to the
friend.
natural sciences, or something like STEM, where shit gets real serious. I hate to break it to you. My class, Dr. Bundy's not going to try to make you memorize as much as possible. Dr. Bundy's going to try to minimize the amount of rote memorization you have to do in my class. But I can't promise that across the college curriculum. And if you're in a biology program, you're going to have to take general biology. You're going to have to take anatomy and physiology. You're going to have to take genetics. You're going to have to take statistics, right? Like I can't protect you from those things. Some people don't have math skills, right? So here's my point, y'all. AJ's fucking stupid. And it doesn't make us more humanist or more honest or decent people to just pretend that there aren't stupid fucking people out there. So now, intellectual disabilities.
So how long did that take us? Like, was that, I started this almost a half an hour ago. He started out by calling AJ, he used the hard R slur. And then he walked it back and he was like, oh yeah, by the way, my C students, I promise you're not stupid. But getting all the way back to this, just a few minutes later, AJ is definitely stupid because she disagrees with me on this particular thing. She's not receptive to learning from Jay Bundy. Just to be clear, that is why AJ is evidently stupid here. What's up, Tori? Good to see you. Says I went to a school at the time I went through they had the junior high school in the same building as the high school, grades 7 through 12, average of 120 kids per class. Yeah, that sounds well. That's a bit crowded. But yeah, I mean, it sounds on par with some of the schooling that I did too. Yeah. I think he might have meant to say like what he said like 50 kids. Maybe he meant in the class, but not in the whole fucking school. But he's just rambling shenanigans. So of course he's inaccuracies. Um, yeah, I'm wondering is that common in university though? He said there were like 400 kids in a class at one point that he taught. Is that I don't know if that's common. I mean, I know they do have much larger class sizes, but that seems pretty heavy.
Lifelong condition characterized by below average intellectual functioning. Now, they quantify that as IQ below 70. I don't give a fuck about the IQ below 70. And significant limitations on daily living skills. It originates during the developmental period, typically before age 22, and affects a person's ability to learn, reason, and live independently. And a person's ability to learn, reason, and live independently. I do not think AJ Ruley is good at learning, reasoning, or living independently. The bitch don't learn good. The bitches don't learn.
She don't learn good.
She just don't learn good. I'm gonna tell you a story happened today, and I felt like an asshole.
She don't learn good because she doesn't listen to me. She doesn't repeat the things that I tell her and not question them. Therefore, she does not learn well. Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you. In the story I'm about to tell you, I'm the asshole. I'm just telling you up front.
You felt like an asshole because you were an asshole. You're acknowledging being an asshole, and yet somehow this is your fucking anecdote. Okay.
Story I'm gonna tell you, I'm the asshole. So save your time in the comment section. I'm telling you up front. In the story I'm gonna tell you, I'm the asshole. I was at the pharmacy today. I went to the pharmacy because I wanted to take a shower. I was out of soap. I was like, fuck it, I don't feel like going to the grocery store. I'm just went to the pharmacy real quick, grab some bars of soap, right? So I go to the store, I get some bars of soap, grab the little portable lotion or whatever the fuck. And then I go, I'm going to
a portable lotion? Are you talking about like a travel size? Why do we need to know all these details? We
cash
don't.
out. Now, as I'm going to cash out, it's a dude coming through the front of the store, coming up to the aisle. He's going to end up standing in line right behind me. And as he's walking up, he's got some weird hat on. And
so the dude walked up behind you. You didn't like his hat. You saw him coming from a mile away. You were like, I don't like this guy. You judged him before you even approached you.
He's on the phone. He's having a very loud conversation. You know how Christians are. He's a Christian. And Christians, they be real loud because they want everybody to hear that they're talking about God and shit.
You know how Christians are. Listen to this. Listen up, Christians. This is what they do.
Right. And so he's talking to this person on the phone. He's like, well, you got to understand how people are. You got to understand how people are. People chose Barabbas over Jesus. Yeah, the people had a choice. The people had a choice between the savior or the murderer, and the people chose the murderer because that's how people are. You just can't deal with people. You know, you just understand that that's who people are. Okay, all right. And I'm so fucking irritated because I'm like, oh my god, bro, you sound fucking stupid, but you're loud as fuck, and you're making us all hear this stupid conversation about Jesus, right?
I mean, honestly, I do. I get a little irritated with people on the phone in public. You know, just having loud ass conversations myself. So I can relate to that, but you know. There are aspects of this story that just I don't know. It makes me question
his point
whether or not it's true or not.
You can't trust people because people chose the murderer. The people chose Barabbas, the murderer, over Jesus, the Son of God. So don't trust people because people will choose the murderer. So I pay for my little shit. I do my little transaction, and here's why I'm an asshole. I turn around.
If anything, you could have related to him at this point because people are choosing the secularity over the Jay Bundy, and he's like the Jesus in this story, right? Like he could totally make that comparison and it would fit. But no, he's irritated at this Christian dude who's talking loudly on his phone.
At that dude, I look at him and I say, wouldn't it be crazy? Wouldn't it be crazy if it turned out that your God murdered the entire planet and then promised to do it again by fire? And he looks at me and he says, love can't change a murderer. And I just walked out the store. Now, why am I?
You should have just said, like, I agree with you. Well, yeah, no. That's Jay Bundy's position in this thing. Like he doesn't even know he's on the Christian
the asshole
side.
In the story because that man don't learn good. That man dumb. Christians, a lot of Christians out there, y'all dumb as shit. Y'all are slow. Y'all don't learn.
He didn't listen to me. He had a rebuttal against me. Therefore, he's dumb.
A lot of Christians, Christianity has caused you to be intellectually disabled. I've been trying to figure out a way to say it for the longest time, and I really had to look into it because I was like, I don't know. I don't want to keep telling people
Hear that, Rebecca, SJ? Your faith has caused you to become intellectually disabled.
they're stupid and they're slow and they're retarded, because all of that makes me seem like an asshole. But I got to be honest, as a social scientist, we have to understand that humans, part of human variation is variation in how smart we are. We ain't all brilliant.
We can't all be as smart as Jay, right?
So the reason I'm an asshole in this story is because the man was a Christian. And when it comes to that Jesus shit, Christians' brains, y'all just don't learn good. I know y'all gonna be mad. You're gonna be, he's so mean to Christians. He says that we're stupid. I'm saying,
Yeah. Amber says extraneous details are signs of spontaneous fabrication. Indeed. Yeah, it's a bit crowded, Tori. I get that. And I personally think like the standard of like whatever it is, like 30 kids or something, is already like difficult to deal with. Yeah, just, and in my experience, like even at our schools dealing with younger children, we've got like it's like 1 to 10 ratio, or somewhere around there, is still quite challenging. So.
and you don't learn good. I'm saying you really don't learn good. Because again, here's a man, he bragging, he pounding on his chest. Well, you can't trust people because people will choose the murderer. Nigga, you worship a genocider. You're a Christian, you worship a fucking genocider. How can you turn around and ridicule non-Christian people? First of all, you're reading out of a fairy tale. You're literally trying to teach a grown-ass person life lessons using a fairy tale. And like, oh, in the fairy tale, they picked the murderer, not our pure, perfect savior. And it shows you how corrupt people are, because people would rather pick a murderer than Jesus. And I'm like, didn't your Christian brethren just elect Donald Trump fucking president so he could drop a bomb on a girls' school in Iran, and you worship a God that drowned the fucking planet and then promised to burn the shit to the ground next time? When do I get to say you just don't learn good? So it's like, it just is what it is, man. Y'all could be mad at me. Y'all could think I'm being a jerk. Y'all could say I'm discriminating. Y'all could say whatever y'all want to say about me. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. AJ's not smart. Not smart. Now let's talk about another thing. Let's talk about a come up. In slang, a come up refers to a sudden or significant gain, success, or lucky break. It often describes leveling up in life, hitting a financial windfall, or securing a great opportunity, right? So you need to understand what I mean when I say, not only is AJ the queen of the cover up, I'm calling this stream because Michael did a stream and Michael took my verbiage, which I call AJ Ruley the queen of the cover up. And Michael put that verbiage, queen of the cover up, on thumbnail for the video we're going to watch, right? And I appreciate that. But when I wanted to respond to Michael, I wanted to add another little layer. And I don't know, maybe Michael adds this in his, like, because I haven't actually watched Michael's video. We're going to react to it in real time. But what the wrinkle I wanted to add for people today is to understand, how does somebody like AJ Ruley end up a featured speaker at NanoCon when she doesn't have the presence on her channel to justify it? She doesn't have enough subs. She doesn't have enough views. Her channel's not monetized. She's not popular. Her content is awful. Her content is fucking terrible. It's drivel. It sucks. It's not interesting. It's literally almost unwatchable. Why does she end up a featured speaker at NanoCon? How does she get the come up, right? She gets the come up because she's doing all the dirty work by being the queen of the cover up. By being the queen of the cover up, she gets the come up. And that's what people need to understand about the coercive, fucked up dynamics in this community. It's not just that people are covering up sex crimes. People are covering up sex crimes opportunistically. They're being rewarded and elevated and promoted and finding themselves, quote unquote, ahead of schedule, where they're getting opportunities that their platform and their channels and their content and their expertise and their knowledge, none of that shit is merited. So
here's the portion of the conspiracy theory where it's about meritocracy, right? Somehow we've earned the right to speak at the function by virtue of having backed up the narrative, I use scare quotes, of the organizers, and so somehow these people are not really that stupid, right? You can't both say that they're stupid, but they're also doing it for gain. It's one or the other, right? I mean, I think it's going the extra mile to push that they're so gullible that they don't realize that they're being manipulated, and treating, like, it's like infantilizing the people involved. Like, oh no, we not only can we not think critically about the situation at hand, right, but we can't think critically about the motivations of others involved in the situation either. So like full on, like which one was it? She's so stupid she just couldn't see the writing on the wall, or uh, was she playing into a narrative in order to advance or gain, like status or popularity or whatever, right? Like which one are you going with here?
Getting that come up because they're doing the dirty work for the people who are in more prominent positions, who do have more popularity, who do have larger channels, who do have positions of leadership in these organizations. So you need to understand that AJ is not just the queen of the cover up, she's getting the come up off of it. And that is why she's a featured speaker at NanoCon. So again, a come up refers to a sudden or significant gain, success.
He's so mad he burned every bridge in his life and nobody's asking him to speak anymore. The entitlement crash out. Yeah. Should have been me.
Or lucky break. It often describes leveling up in life, hitting a financial windfall, or securing a great opportunity. Here are a few common ways the slang is used. Making a quote come up, scoring a major win or profit unexpectedly, on the come up, someone who is steadily rising in their career or gaining popularity like an up and coming artist. Now, here's what's interesting. You know who else was getting a come up? Patty and Nancy.
Oh, that's so interesting.
And Nancy, the apostate sisters were on their come up, right? Because they were popular, they're attractive, they're charismatic, they're well educated, they're well spoken, they have a great chemistry between them, and they legit had bona fides. They were legitly raised in like a hella controlling cult. They had incredible backstory, and then they were really educated and sophisticated in terms of their commentary and their content and speaking to how to get people out of cult. So they were great, and the community was starting to know, like, hey, these apostate sisters, they badass, they really know their shit, they're useful, right? But then once the shit happened with Nancy, they were blacklisted, ostracized, and told to kick rocks. You see what I'm saying? Now, the reality is, how did they manipulate Nancy?
Who blacklisted them ever? Like, what in the actual fuck are you talking about?
Nancy, right? After the assault, what did SR do? They love bombed. He love bombed her. This support group arose around her. And
he love bombed her when she asked for information on how to contact him. How does that work?
There was a lot of, oh my goodness, we could collaborate. Oh my goodness, I could get you on with this person. Oh my God, we got to get you on this network, right? So they used rubbing Nancy down, giving Nancy kind of the temptation that she was going to get a come up out of this.
So they weren't blackballing her. They were actually offering her opportunities, but it's alleged that this was done under like some coercive pretense.
That to basically try to manipulate her into silence, right? Like, oh, if it just became convenient, right? If she would let this whole Elliot thing go, then Elliot could continue to exist in the space peacefully. She could continue to coexist in space peacefully. Everybody could love bomb and promote her. And then the apostate sisters could get the come up off of this, right? Just because Nancy was so cool and so forgiving and willing to let this all go. So it's just disgusting and gross how these people use this influence peddling, right? It's the influence peddling, or as I call it, the gatekeeping and the kingmaking. Right. So again, gatekeeping is groups of people just filtering out who gets access to opportunities. Kingmaking is there's certain people in positions of power who get to decide who's going to be the next star, who's going to get the next come up, and alternative, who's going to be blacklisted and who's never going to get out.
That's just not what either of those things fucking mean. Like yes, I mean there's some aspect of gatekeeping that determines like who's going to potentially gain access to a particular space, right? The way he's talking about this as like some type of like monolithic structure, like all of these communities, they collaborate and they network, but they're not like one and the same. There is no like unified leadership, right? It's not like the the Catholic Church where you have like the Pope and there's this whole the organizational structure. It's not even close to that. Okay, sorry. Amber City's rewriting history again. This is one of the keys of the smear campaign. Yeah. Anytime his narrative has to be adjusted, he's like, no. Well, I said that, but I was just joking. I was just painting a picture for you. I was trying to give you context. Like even in this one, now they're walking it back. They're saying, oh no, he's not actually a rapist. He's an attempted rapist. But it's kind of the same thing, right? Because if you attempted rape, then you would have raped if you hadn't been stopped from raping. But also, Did you do the thing? Did you not do the thing? Did you attempt to do the thing? So there's all kinds of mental gymnastics to try to keep the narrative consistent. Once they say, oh well, that actually didn't occur, but it would have occurred had it not been prevented. But the yeah. Anyway, and then Ember says he does like to coin terms that already exist because to borrow his phrase, he don't like. Yeah. Later on, he's going to also say that like white people can't use black phrases. He's gonna be like, no, you can't. You stole that from black people, apparently. I don't know if we're going to get there in this video, but yeah, you'll get the gist.
Opportunities who's never going to get to come up. And when you combine those two things, gatekeeping and kingmaking, you get what we call influence peddling, right? That there are these influential circles of people and they control.
Who the fuck is we? Who is the we using this term influence peddling?
Your access to resources and opportunities, and
this is just you and Michael, right?
Powerful people within that circle also control whether you get elevated or pushed down. So you now have to understand and watch AJ get the come up. Also, I do think that she's controlling the nanocon.
AJ has been doing a lot of work around the community at large for quite a while, as far as I know. This is not like some new development. Yeah, like certain people like AJ and like SR have done a lot of organizing and stuff behind the scenes and production work, as far as I'm aware, and things like that. Just really supporting other people within the community, which is what that whole thing is, right? Which I've never seen or heard of Jay doing ever for anyone. Really supporting other channels other than his own and people that support his content.
Channels. I think she has so much access as part of NanoCon's leadership that she's literally running their YouTube channel, because a lot of the shit that she does on her channel ends up on their channel, and everything on the NanoCon channel just feels like an expression of AJ Rule. Now, again, NanoCon's not transparent, so we don't really know, or at least I don't really know. But my suspicion.
I look at the NanoCon YouTube channel, and I apparently have been subscribed to it, right? But yeah, it's generally pretty. It's focused around the event and the speakers. I don't know who runs it. I imagine AJ might have a hand in that, but I don't see it as being like a tandem channel or something like that. But yeah, I'm not even sure if it's like an official channel at this point, or it's just something that was created to kind of hype the event, on YouTube, because they have their official website and everything, which is separate from that.
Is that AJ Ruley is so involved in NanoCon that she's actually even controlling their social media presence, or at least their YouTube channel. Now, let's talk about what we mean when we say cover up. A cover up refers to either an action intended to conceal wrongdoing or mistakes, or a loose piece of clothing worn over a swimsuit, right? So we're talking about action intended to conceal wrongdoing, right? And it involves deception or concealment. In a political, legal, or institutional context, a cover up is a concerted effort to hide crimes, mistakes, or unethical behavior to avoid consequences or safeguard reputations. So I just want people to understand what we're talking about here.
So yeah, and just to be clear, to refresh, either AJ is so stupid that she just doesn't understand the gravitas of the situation, or she is manipulating the situation for personal gain, or she is both so stupid that she doesn't understand the gravitas of the situation, while also being manipulated by others by being offered status within the community to spin a narrative contrary to Jay's, which is actually supported by other witnesses at the actual event. Right. Okay.
Okay, we're talking about AJ Ruley. We're talking about someone who has cognitive disability. They're also morally bankrupt and a terrible person. And she also is on that dark triad narcissistic spectrum as well, right? So she is psychiatrically
dark triad narcissistic spectrum. Is this a medically recognized terminology?
Dangerous, in addition to being dumb as fuck. Let me catch up real quick with Michael's comments here. Good to see you, Michael. Just got back from some food. That sounds good. I thought it had to do with dice. Elliot played the same thing with me. I can get you on all the big shows. He said, yeah, he did that shit to me too. Yeah. And a bunch of people in this community do that shit. And I've had a lot of people do that to me. I'm not even going to name all of them because they're not really relevant to today's content. But I've had Elliot do that.
No, they're not relevant today. Um, so the AI overview, of course. The dark triad of narcissism. The dark triad is a psychological framework identifying three overlapping malevolent personality traits: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. People with these traits exhibit callousness, duplicity, and willingness to exploit others. Within this triad, narcissism manifests as extreme uh, self-ad entitlement. What the fuck is self-ad? Entitlement and a constant craving for validation. This just covers Jay's personality so well. Narcissism, the three pillars. Narcissism, driven by grandiosity, entitlement, and a need for excessive admiration. They feel superior but are highly sensitive to criticism. Machiavellianism, characterized by cynical, manipulative, and deceptive behavior. Machiavellians are highly strategic, viewing relationships transactionally to achieve specific goals. And psychopathy, distinguished by a severe lack of empathy, remorse, or guilt. It brings an impulsive and reckless component to the individual's malicious behavior. Wow. How can he not read something like that and look in the fucking mirror and see himself for what he is? Just that's incredible.
As well. And other people involved with the Flying Monkeys like John Gleason and shit like that. All right. So here we go. Here's her page. And again, you can see that she has 772 subscribers. So again, how do you end up, right? If you look at the NanoCon speakers, right? Think about this. Matt Dillahunt.
Oh, yeah. I imagine Emerson's Dark Triad is a chat GPT pseudosite. But it oddly reflects his own behavior. Yeah. I'll check that out. Thank you, Ember. For anybody who wants to see in the chat.
Promise Backlund is on the line.
Ember dropped the link.
Him and Meta the Friendly Atheist, very popular. Monte Mader is getting a come up. Fars Valkai, really well known, right? We know Glenda Jordan's in with Gail Jordan and Elliot Cantor. So we know even though they're losers. But again, Gail Jordan is one of the leaders of like I think American Atheist, one of those organizations, right? So she's intimately tied to these organizations. Kunduz Gorham is the president of the American Humanist Association, right? So like some of these people, I don't know exactly who they are, but there's a reason they're all there, right? AJ is one of the people who just doesn't belong.
Who did he
on here? Like she doesn't have the channel size, she doesn't have the organizational leadership.
She's slip in the racial slur in
not
there,
an expert in anything. She doesn't have great content. She doesn't bring some brilliant perspective and insight, right? There's no fucking reason AJ Ruley should be.
Because he realized that some of this is, well, there's educational stuff, but there's also entertainment, right? Like AJ doesn't belong with these people. What do you mean?
None. Other than she's friends with.
Because he personally doesn't find her entertaining or valuable or whatever, because he disagrees with her on this issue.
With Elliot, and she's protecting his ass, and Elliot's organization is running this shit, so she got to come up. And then next year it'll be a bunch of other Flying Monkeys, right? Next year it'll be Maya and Ember, right? Because they don't want them all to do it this year, because if they all did it this year, it'd be too obvious, right? But that's what they're all counting on. They're all counting on next year.
Because if people stay involved in the fucking atheist spaces long enough, eventually they might get a speaking position at one of these conventions, and that obviously proves a conspiracy.
They'll get invited to the Ark Encounter, and then that'll justify inviting them to NanoCon, and that'll justify inviting them to the Bat Cruise. So they're all trying to get this come up. But you can see, like, there's just no way.
If all of this was true, one of these fucking loaded atheists out here would have already paid my fucking fee to get out there, Fundraiser. I didn't put the link today, but it's out there somewhere and shit. I was trying to get to NanoCon, but we're getting close to it. Yeah. Anyway, but maybe there will be other things happening this year. I heard there was Rocket City Reason, stuff like that. There is still time
with this few subs. And again, it'd be one thing if she had a PhD in something, or she was just so revolutionary. There was something about her we just needed to know. But again, it's not. And then look at her post, right? They did some fundraiser for Miranda, and she's dropping Seth Andrews here, and we know he's one of the Flying Monkeys too. We know Eli's down with all this Flying Monkey bullshit, right? And then here she is, just more flying monkey bullshit. Here's her and Elliot Cantor. Here's her showing Elliot Cantor and Godless Engineer talking about community safety. Here's her coming at Patty, I guess, asking Patty to remove the videos that they did together because now AJ's not asking her to delete her channel. She's just saying she doesn't want to be on Patty's channel anymore. So she's asking Patty to remove their videos together. And then here she is.
Which is, I mean, not terribly unreasonable. As a content creator, like I could see how that could be time consuming and kind of frustrating, but you know, if you go to that level where somebody doesn't want to be associated with you anymore, I mean, I think it's kind of par for the course. I had a band breakup years ago. Well, so one of the members of my band basically he quit. I didn't fire him as such, but I had told him that like I was looking for other people, and then like there was a blowout. So we had a separation, and this band member says, first of all, because he had come up with the name of the band, he's like, you have to change the name of the band, and I was like, well, we're already doing that, right? And then he was like, well, you can't play this song, and this song because I contributed to those, and I was like, well, I'm still gonna play those fucking songs. But, you know, the new guy is going to write his own parts, so it's not going to be identical to yours or whatever. But you can't just, you know. And then the third part of that was that he wanted to take down, like, all of the content that we had done together that was already released. And I was like, no, I think that's a deal breaker. Like, I don't think it's reasonable for you to ask me to take down all of the content we've done together. But once we did the name change and everything, all of that, I explicitly left him out of those, like in the new group. But I left the old content intact. That's kind of a totally different thing, I guess. But yeah, I'm just kind of like thinking about that in hindsight as we talk about this. Because then, like, it wasn't asking to be completely disassociated from it. It was basically like to try to take down anything that he had collaborated in, right? Which I don't think anybody has the right to do if you're doing something like as a group effort. Because that takes away not only your own part, right, but the contributions of others. But if it's something that was exclusively like, you know, I interviewed you and you were like, I don't want that interview up anymore, then I'm like, okay, right? But if 5 of us are on an open panel and then you just suddenly decide I don't want to be on that channel anymore, well, sorry about your luck, you know. You came on the internet and you did that, and you're affecting 5 other people right now with this you know, random decision you're making. I think it's like short-sighted, and anyway, I don't know.
Bragging about the fundraiser, the line held that raised over 115,000, almost $116,000 for recovering from religion, literally so that they would not face.
Oh, hey, Bree, good to see you. Ember says he's all up in the site and doesn't know I'm doing 2 workshops. You don't learn good. No, yeah, maybe he's become more cautious, or maybe he's just, geez, went to the ads. No, he says later on that he doesn't actually watch the content. He likes to skim through it like this. Oh, Bree sent me something. It'll be too obvious. Did you hear him? That's it's not in the red flow chart. I don't see it. Yeah, not there. All right, I'm gonna go check my message real quick here.
The financial burden and consequences of being involved in this cover up as they continue to platform and promote Elliot the Tennessee Strangler Martin. Here's Ember, another flying monkey, right? So her channel's Flying Monkey Central. Here's a video about me from Fire Dancer Stripper Lady, you know, about how I'm a misogynist, or I guess because I make fun of her because she's disgusting. You know, so just y'all got to look into this shit. I'm just trying to show out who these people are. I really got time to be sitting here and watching their pages. It's disgusting. I don't watch their content, but I'm just showing you who they are. Here's her with Sydney Davis. Now remember, she's one of
It's so gross.
SR's good friends.
It makes me feel icky. It's kind of how we feel when we watch Jay, isn't it?
So is Sydney
So
Davis.
we're actually paying attention.
Sydney Davis is running the board. So they let SR, after SR got too hot, they let SR slide out the back door of Secular Rising. So did they go to all new leadership? No, they just have his friends running it. His friends are in charge of it. His friends are on the board. She's one of them, right? And
Why
so
would it's his fucking group? Why would he have to like, dude? Like it shows something to say that he stepped down at all. There was no necessity for him to actually do that, right? Like, but the fact that he did do it shows that he's. And then if other people are running the group, right? What was their alternative? To make a fucking what the fuck? Like they would just start a new group, and what in the fuck would be point of that? Okay, this is sorry. I got completely distracted when I opened up. Anyway, we'll keep going. All right.
and they could just run and they could say, hey, Elliot's not a part of this anymore. We got rid of him. And then they could just hand him the money out the back door because it's just run by his friends. And that's what I'm saying. Like this space is so disgusting. All these people are so gross. Yes, including Sydney Davis Jr. Sydney Davis Jr. is the one of the rape apologists in chief. She is one of SR's biggest advocates and allies, and she is disgusting. And she is literally running SR's organization in his stead for him, and I'm sure made arrangements to make sure he still gets paid when they get paid.
I am here with
or that he can still benefit from them.
twin.
My twin. See how much they love each other?
My
So
sister
gross.
from
Is he getting paid? Is this? I'm pretty sure Secular Rising. When I looked at it, it said that it was a fucking NGO, right, or an NPO. So nobody is profiting. That's not usually how that works. Dog's going crazy.
another mister who's not God. Thank God it's not God.
No, it's brother from another mother, and white people, y'all need to stay out our fucking slang. Stay out our shit. Stay out our shit. Stay out our shit. Stay out our shit. Y'all adopting black slang and making it your own, our sister from another mister. Nah, bitch. Nah, bitch, you covering up sex crimes. Your black card was all the way revoked. It was never approved. Your hood pass never got stamped. Your hood pass was denied. Your hood pass didn't even make it to review. As soon as they saw your name on a form, they threw that shit in the shredder. The committee that makes approvals never even saw your application. Fuck out of here.
Like, we do not claim him as our father. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't.
Oh no, I certainly don't. No, absolutely not.
How
I said,
useless
what?
is this content?
Wait, are you an atheist? What's going on? Whoa, whoa.
How useless is this content?
Right. Yeah.
This is what you need. You need to pay money to hear from these bitches at NanoCon.
When I met in
Fuck outta
person
here.
was at Objectively Dance wedding.
Yikes.
Right.
Pay money to hear
And
from these bitches at
I've been
NanoCon.
talking to Anthony Magnabosco and you know, like about his epistemology stuff that he does. And when he gets to the wedding, I guess he finds you and he thought you were me. And then he starts talking to you as if you were me.
Yeah, which is so funny because I had actually interviewed him like 2 years earlier, but I had really long hair. It was bright red. I just had a whole different vibe. And so at the time I had really short hair at the wedding. And so he looks at me and he goes, "Oh, are you AJ?" And I said, "Oh, nope, because we never met. So I didn't know who AJ was." And then when I saw you, I was like, I see it. I see how you describe the two of us. They would get them confused for sure. Absolutely.
I feel like we have the like similar shape of our face. Like we both wear similar makeup style. And my
This is another one of AJ's insecurities. AJ is always physically comparing herself.
Oh, the universe. The universe is conspiring against me. I was trying to do one thing, another thing happened, and then it was just, yeah. Anyway. All right. What did I miss? Oh yeah, we're at the part where he's gonna start talking shit about AJ's appearance, and yeah, it's fucking gross. It's fucking sexist, and I, you know, frankly disagree. That's gonna be the whole thing here. I might have to shut it down. Yeah, I might. I'm gonna try to. I have this this thing, which I'm gonna bring up the next time, which will probably be a little bit later. But anyway, all right. Be kind, be well, stay trusty, and much love. We'll see you on the next one. Happy Dad's Day to all the dads, and yeah, much love to parents everywhere. Take care of your children. All right, and we'll see you when we see you. Bye.